Headlines tonight, police and prosecutors painstakingly building a case against mom Casey Anthony. And tonight, just revealed the state's witness list. Over 80 witnesses listed to prove a case at trial against mom Casey in the disappearance of 3-year-old Caylee. The lineup including the obvious, the Anthony family, mom Casey's cohorts, her multiple boyfriends, all set to confirm mom Casey's web of lies about little Caylee's whereabouts. This, as the Orange County Sheriff announces the investigation could proceed as a homicide, even without a body. And tonight, more stunning police interrogation. Grandparents George and Cindy Anthony caught on tape. Have police ended the search for Caylee? Are they convinced she'll never be found alive? Tonight, where is 3-year-old Caylee?
We spent the first day of the investigation with the mother prior to her arrest. We talked to her for a couple of hours. The initial information that she gave us, we followed up on, and of course, a lot of what she told us when we first began talking to her turned out to be false information.
And there's certain things that the family can't say. There's certain things that we do know. There's certain things that Casey knows that she can't tell. But, you know, frankly, there's not a whole lot of people that we trust.
She knows who has her daughter. She knows her daughter's safe. You know, I got to believe her that she knows where everything is okay.
I want the truth to come out. I want them to know that I didn't do anything.
Do you think we're spinning our wheels looking for a Zanny?
I'm not sure. But I have two theories, and I'll share that with you. I think Zanny could either be Amy or Jesse at this point.
Do I believe it's possible that Caylee did have a nanny and Casey lied to her enough about her family that she thinks that she's protecting them right now? That she thinks she's protecting Caylee? I don't see why not. We can all tell that from the last couple of years, Casey is a very effective liar. I think I'd use the word diabolical to describe the way she lies.
It's a very sensitive case, and it always is tough that if you end up going down that path of working a homicide case without a body, it's even tougher.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. I want to thank you for being with us tonight. The desperate search for a beautiful 3-year-old Florida girl, Caylee.
It's not Walker, Texas Ranger, where you can go to the computer and get DNA and all that in 3 seconds. It doesn't work that way, and so we're going to do it by the book and do it right the first time.
Do you think your sister is being truthful?
To the best of her ability right now, I do. Frankly, I wouldn't still be here if I didn't think that she was trying to cooperate with me.
When I asked her, why won't you allow us to see Caylee, and she said, well, maybe I'm a spiteful bitch.
Zanny is the babysitter that has watched Caylee consistently for the last maybe year and a half.
Nobody that you met, so Casey...
There was no reason to meet her.
I don't even trust that family point blank as it is right now because my name is involved.
Could she have ripped off the wrong person there or pissed off the wrong person? Absolutely. Could she become a drug user to appease Tony? She became a Yankee fan to appease me. And she hates the Yankees. She does things to chameleon. She's like a chameleon when she's with a guy.
He would wake up or wake me up either in the middle of the night, or I would just wake up in the middle of the night and see that she was sweaty in bed, and I would ask her why, and she said that she would have a nightmare. She was having a nightmare or something.
You guys don't know. The person who was in the back of my granddaughter's car is not my granddaughter. So why don't you guys get your facts straight?
Finally revealed the state's witness list, over 80 people in line to testify in the state's case against mom Casey Anthony and the disappearance of her little girl. It's been a long time coming. Out to Drew Petromo, WDBO. What's the latest, Drew?
Well, first off is that list. It's 82 people, ranges from, all the people that we've seen play prominent roles in this case. Her mother Cindy, her dad George, and her brother Lee. There's also all the people that we've seen in these audio and videotapes throughout the investigation, her friends, her roommates, her lovers, the boys that she spent the night at their houses. There's also about 30 people that are on there that carry the title Orange County Sheriff's Office. So they're obviously part of the Sheriff's Office, and they also play into this case as well.
I've gone through the witness list extensively. There are over 80 witnesses listed here. A lot of them are self-explanatory, such as the Anthony family. I also see on here, out to Nikki Pierce with WDBO, Jeff Hopkins. Jeff Hopkins II. Now, isn't it true that Mom Casey Anthony claims that is how she met Zenaida Gonzalez?
That's true, Nancy. She said that she worked with Jeff Hopkins at Kodak at Universal, and that he introduced her to Zenaida, who was a nanny for him and his child. We know that that is not the case, that Jeff Hopkins was a real person, but the circumstances, Casey, made up.
Now, isn't it true, out to Natisha Lance standing by there at the Anthony home in Orlando, Natisha, isn't it true that not only does Mom Casey Anthony state that she met the imaginary nanny through Jeff Hopkins, she claimed a co-worker, she later added to the story and said that she and Jeff Hopkins had dated, and he essentially had a baby that Zanny babysat for, and they kind of threw Caylee into the mix for free, that Zenaida Gonzalez was babysitting Caylee and somebody else?
That's correct, Nancy. The story was that he had this son, Zachary, and they were close to the same age as Caylee, and all three of them would go off to the beach and other places together, and once again that she was introduced through Jeffrey Hopkins.
And what does Jeff Hopkins say about that, Natisha Lance?
Well, we've actually spoken to Jeffrey Hopkins' father, and he indicated to us that he kind of knew Casey in high school, but he hadn't even worked at Universal in quite some time, and he did not recall his son working there with Casey Anthony at all.
And, of course, he did not introduce Zenaida Gonzalez to Mom Casey Anthony.
Nope, absolutely not.
Everybody, we are taking your calls live. Out to Lillian Glass, psychologist and author of I Know What You're Thinking. Dr. Glass, the intensity and the intricacy of her elaborate lies, I mean, they can clearly be proven wrong. Even where, I mean, the lies get more and more fantastic.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to watch.
Lily, wait.
Sure.
In fact, so she doesn't just say, oh, I met the baby through this guy I used to work with. Then it goes on. And then he was dating the nanny. And then he and the nanny broke up. And then I started dating him. And then I got the nanny for free. She continued taking care of his child and my child. I'm his new girlfriend. It doesn't make any sense. The lies get bigger and crazier and crazier.
Exactly. And when people lie, when there's deception, they go on and on like that. They spin tales. And you wonder if there's some type of sociopathy going on. She is scary.
You know, everyone, we now have more interrogation by police. We also have tonight the state's witness list just revealed. I want you to hear some more of this police interrogation. Georgia and Cindy Anthony caught on tape. Take a listen.
So she actually told you on the 16th, I plan on staying at Zanny's. I have a late event.
Yes, most definitely.
Mom starts calling. Apparently, Mom says that she had some form of a big deal going on at work, a convention. So they were staying at the Hard Rock Hotel.
That's what she told us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what my wife reiterated to me.
You didn't have those conversations, just your wife told you, okay. And then they had to move that to Busch Gardens, Tampa area.
Yes.
And that's where Zanny got in her car accident?
Supposedly Zanny got in his car accident. Casey was following at some distance behind her, and Zanny got involved in this accident.
Hospitalized at Tampa General?
That's what we were told.
Treated for a concussion?
Yes.
But then the next day, the ER nurse discovered a large laceration behind the ear and had to treat that.
And it kept her, I guess, an extra day or something like that, when I remember correctly, yes.
And here we hear an explanation of why Mom Casey Anthony was going back and forth to Tampa. I want to go back out to Drew Petrimo with WDBO. Here she is confronted by her father about stealing the gas cans. And she says, oh, I've got to go back and forth because my imaginary nanny had an imaginary car crash in Tampa, and I'm going to see her in the hospital. I mean, Here we actually have her caught explaining why she needed all that gasoline. Drew Petramo.
Right, and then investigators went back and they checked the hospital, and there was no record of her ever being in that hospital. There's really no record that she ever had any contact with Zenaida Gonzalez.
Anytime Caylee ever stayed away from the house, Casey said she was with Zanny.
Okay.
And it wasn't that often that, you know, maybe a night here or there sporadically, but she always said she was crashing at Zanny's.